I'm here with Weston coach Trevor Morrison. Trevor, disappointing result today. What were your thoughts on today's match?
Oh, we're all disappointed. We put a lot of work, a lot of effort in all week for this, and we set up for the game and things like that. And the first half they had a lot of good chances they didn't take. We rode our luck, admittedly, but I thought we got into it pretty well in the second half. I thought we changed a few things up and we got into it. They're dangerous on the break with the pace they've got up front and the skill. So, we rode it, but it's heartbreaking at the end of the day.
Broadmeadow created a lot of chances today, as you said. What was your thoughts at halftime going into the second half to try and reduce the amount of chances they would have in the second?
We sat back off key players. Peter Haynes is a quality player, and he had too much time and space to put his foot on the ball and hit Bradbury and Fitch into corners, into spaces in 1v1 areas. And I thought we bottled that up a lot better, and we put pressure on the ball in the midfield, the player on the ball, and I thought we did quite all right. And Troy, I thought Troy battled his heart out, and for no reward up front. Key decisions and things like that I'll have to watch on telly to see if I've missed something. But from where I was sitting, I couldn't understand it.
Now, last week a disappointing performance. Would you say today an improvement on that performance?
Oh yeah, for sure. Last week we weren't there. We weren't even in the races, but today we knew. And I'm more disappointed in losing today than I was last week. Because we had everything set up. We knew what was going to happen. And things like that. And the boys were pumped up. They were ready to go all week. They've been good. And today, before the game, you could just feel it. I thought they would have done the job today. I felt good about it. But not to be. And we'll turn up next week and see what happens.
Looking at the final series, it's now in Broadmeadow's hands. If they win next week, then they'll be going through. What have you got to do against Edgeworth?
We only look after our own destination. We can do what we can do. I went and watched Edgeworth yesterday, and I'm very impressed with them. It's the first time I've seen them play since we played here in the first round, and I like what I see, the way they're organised, the way they play. They're a good team, and I'd go as far as to say, well, the Jets, they had a 4-4 draw, but I was very impressed with what I seen of Edgeworth yesterday.
What have you got to do to beat them next week?
More goals than them.
That was the same advice for this week, I think.
It was too, but the clean sheet hurt.
You didn't have anything else?
No, just wipe the tears out of my eyes and get on with it tomorrow.
Now, in terms of the rest of this season, the last 2 weeks, you've had such a tough finish to the year. You've had Magic, Hamilton, and Edgeworth. What do you have to do in terms of looking to the final series if you do make it? What have you got to change playing those top sides?
Oh, nothing really. Just cut our mistakes out, do the simple things well. It's a great preparation to go in the final series when you look at it. If you come out of it on top, you're match hardened, you're ready to go in the big games at the end of the year. You're not playing the softer opponents, so to speak, no disrespect, but you're playing the best teams in the comp. And if you come out the other side good, well, you're ready to go in semi-final time. I didn't mind the draw, but I always knew. It was funny when I seen the draw. I always knew today was going to be a big day against Magic. But we'll see what happens next week,
Were there any injuries out of today's game?
Zach Snedden's got stud marks from the top of his ribs right down to near his butt.
From the Archbold challenge over on the edge of the 18?
I don't know who got it. I have to watch, but obviously there was no contact, but the stud marks were there for all to see, and they're 3 stud marks that go virtually the length of his side. So he's that's the only injury I know, really, just apart from dented pride. So.
Well, as you said, only take it 1 week at a time. We'll see what happens next week versus Edgeworth. It's going to be an interesting game, and then we'll see what happens with the finals and the rest of the season.
We'll probably turn up too, I think.
It'll be a cracker here on Bar TV. Round 18. I'll get to speak to you again next week, Trevor. And until then, I'll bid you farewell.
Thank you, mate. Thank you.
Thanks, Trevor.
What were the other